What's good with y'all? What's good? What's good? Now, if your age is 13 to 18, this video is for you. Right now, you're at the baby stages of your development, and there's no need to stress life in and of itself. You have anywhere from a good 60 to maybe even 100 more years to live. You have nothing to stress. You're a baby. There's nothing to worry about. Don't allow yourself to be cornered by your own mind in thinking that you have to be successful by ages, 18, 19, 20 through 25, okay? Life is not a sprint. Life is a marathon. Life is a journey without a destination. At the end of the day, no matter whether you live to 60, no matter whether you die tomorrow, no matter whether you live to 100, it's all going to end in the same place. And there's nothing to fear at all. This idea that society has cultivated about success is all a lie. And there's no amount of material value in this world that can equate to the amount of success you've been equipped with since the day that you were born. Don't scare yourself. Don't pressure yourself. There's nothing to be fearful of. It doesn't matter if, you have to constantly re-experience or experience the same things over and over and over. You have a whole entire life to get things figured out. And even then, where you are in your life right now, not many people, even within their mid-50s, are at where you're at right now. Don't listen to the media telling you that you have to be on the grind 24/7. Don't listen to other people telling you that you have to throw your whole entire life away, work 40 hours at freaking 16 at a broke-ass, dead-end job just to make ends meet. Bro, you're in your abundance. You're not in survival mode anymore. You can thrive and thrive happily. And from ages 13 to 18, these are some of the most pivotal times in your life because you're now coming into your adulthood. You're coming into your manhood, your womanhood, and you're really starting to figure out your place in this world. And I get it, it's hard, especially being somebody who has just turned 18 not even a month ago. Around this time, you're starting to find that all of the agreements and all of the trauma that has reigned your world is finally starting to come to light, and you're starting to become aware of everything that has once held you back. And I get it, you're in the thick of everything right now. I understand that because I'm in the thick of everything right now. But what you must realize is that your current situation is not your final destination, and everything that you're going through right now is a pedestal, is a stepping stool for the next stage of your life. When it comes to school isn't something that you should worry about either. You have to realize that school, although sometimes may be very challenging, school serves to be a graduation of not only your academic studies into a new realm, but that is a graduation from a specific phase of your life. When I started this YouTube channel, when I had my first girlfriend, when I, started to learn spirituality, when I started to better my mindset at workout, when I started to become who I was to this day, I was in school. I'm in school. And me graduating in June of this year is not only the graduation of me academically from high school and just from school in general, but I'm graduating onto another stage of my life. It's understandable that some people, come from dysfunctional and broken homes, and I get it. It's okay. You may be 13 watching this video. You may view yourself as being overweight or not fit or fat even, and things like that, because at the time I know I was. That's how I viewed myself. But what you gotta realize is that those times that you were fat was the stepping stool for where you are today. If I looked at myself, 3 years ago, the person who I was 3 years ago is not the same person I was. A little background on me, back in 2020, March of 2020, I started to change my life. When COVID swung around, I knew that 9 days into COVID, March 22nd, 2020, I knew that it was time to make a change. So what I started doing was I started working out and I started bettering my mindset. And because of these traumatic responses that I was having in my life up to that point, I knew that there was a change needed to be made. And I thought of myself as ugly. I thought of myself as stupid. I thought of myself as, someone who was weak. My father always told me, sticks and stones may break your bones, but words never hurt you. But I thought that because words hurt me, that I was weak, that I was a bitch, that I was feminine. And especially within the black community, men don't really express their emotions that much. So especially being 18 and having very low self-esteem as it was, I didn't feel like I had anything. And hell, I didn't have any body because COVID had just started. And I feel as though COVID for me really showed me that I didn't have many friends, and I didn't have that great of a support system outside of my own family. So what I had to do was I had to just start bettering my mind. I had to just start bettering my body and my life, my connection to the universe, my connection to God at the time. And that's where it's gotten me today. And being someone who's 18, I will say with confidence and with conviction that everything that I've been through up until this point, I don't regret none of it. Not a single thing. Again, you're at the baby stages of your development, and don't allow other people to indoctrinate you or impress your subconscious mind or just your mind in general with the idea that, you have to know what you're doing in college. You have to know what you're doing the day after you graduate from high school. Although you're being thrown into the real world as an adult, at the end of the day, bro, this is your life. There's no progress of your life, okay? There's no map of your life, and the only way that you could check your progress is if you had a map. But there's no roadmap to life. There's no how-to guide to life. When people ask me what is the meaning of life, or when I think of people asking me what is the meaning of life, that's some of the most dumb shit you could ask me. And the reason why is because, same with the topic of this video, the meaning of life is to experience life. The meaning of life is to cultivate your own reality and project your greatest reality through your own mind, okay? Nobody could tell you when you have to get things done. Some of the most famous and most successful people in the world, materially, spiritually, mentally, physically, and emotionally, it took them years to get to where they need to get. The problem with society is that society is so, indoctrinated by this idea that we have to get rich quick. Okay, that we need big baguette chains, we need Birkin bags, we need the newest fucking sneakers on our feet, and that displays what material success is. That displays what success is. But many of those people that you see nowadays, not only did it take them years, months, years, and decades even to get to that point, but even then, don't allow that to influence your mind and thinking that is what makes you successful. Like I said many times before, success is a game of self-discovery, and there's no amount of money that can equate to the amount of success you've been equipped with since birth. And there's no reason why a 13 through even 16-year-old, or in my case 18-year-old, should be worrying about, having the most amount of money, having the most stable life. I get it. You live with your parents right now. I live with my mom right now, and I'm taking all the necessary steps I need to take in order for me to have my life together financially, so that when I am on my own, I can build off of the foundation that I built up for myself at the same house. You have time, and working within your abundance is maturing is realizing that life isn't a race. And what people are doing in their life is not a reflection of what you're doing in your life. You may realize, I'll give you an example for myself, right? There was a point in time where there was a group of workers at my job who I got very accustomed to, and most of them left. And I started to question myself and asking myself, why am I still at this job when all of the coworkers that I once worked with left? The people who I worked with a year ago, damn near all of them left because they just graduated to different parts of their life. But this is my life, and that's not to say that the people who, left my job are necessarily on a higher tier or, on a higher echelon than me. No, that just simply means that what they're doing in their life is different from what I'm doing in my life. And my path is completely different than their path. My path may be easier. My path may be more difficult. I don't know. But the thing is that competition isn't needed, especially when you're working within your own abundance and you're working within divine absolution. As people, we feel that we're behind because we compete with other people. And especially nowadays, especially with social media and things like that, people around this age love to look at other people to model their life, because at home, not everybody has the support structure they need. And even for the people that they do have that they need at home, still, it is so much easier to just go on social media and see what the next person is doing and try to imitate that to try to gain clout or social status, or try to, be accepted in the eyes of many. Where are you racing to? What is your goal? Okay? The most important thing in this life is your why. Okay? Many people do things or don't do things because of a specific reason, and your goal is to maintain that reason. But don't get lost in the sight of trying to get to that goal and sacrificing your health as a result of it. Ask yourself, why do you feel as though you need to get to your goal so much quicker than everybody else? Okay? If life was really meant to be short, then you would die tomorrow. Okay? The cap for, people living, the cap for the age in this life, many people live to 65 and things like that. If the universe wanted us as humans to not live that long, then the cap of the age that people usually die at would be much shorter. So as opposed to people dying at 80 years old, 20 years old, or 60 years old, people would die at 16 years old, 15 years old, etc. But in essence, what I'm trying to say is life isn't a race, okay? And where you are right now is exactly a reflection of the person that you become and the person that you are. In order to cultivate a better reality for yourself, you must change your thoughts now so that later you can reap the benefits of what you sow. And this video serves to be me taking my own advice as well. My little cat right there. This video serves to be me taking my own advice because I find myself getting very, scared. I find myself being very fearful of the idea of me not being successful. But what I must also realize is that I am successful. And there's no such thing as me not being successful or productive. And the last thing that I want to talk about as well on the topic of production is that don't do things to try to fit within this narrative of productivity. There is no such thing as not being productive. People talk about you taking a nap. That's unproductive, but yet you meditate. You're doing the same thing, essentially, okay? You're simply sitting down or being still and allowing your mind to be in a different, mindset or in a different reality and things like that. So there's no such thing as not being successful. There's no such thing as not being productive, okay? And that's one of the things that, during COVID especially, that's one of the things that I struggle with the most and even still struggle with, trying to maintain this narrative of productivity. But again, there's no race, there's no competition, and there's no such thing as not being productive or not being successful. But ultimately, you are exactly where you need to be, and there's nothing to worry about in this life. With that being said, I love myself through you. We gonna rock out. Remember, like, comment, subscribe. I don't usually say that, you feel me? I'm not a YouTuber. But with that being said, the goal of life is not just to be infinitely great, it's to be greater than infinity. Peace.